Alright class, this is a special video lesson that you can do if you need extra practice in section 2.3. That would be the section about simplifying variable expressions. So this is extra practice. It would be helpful to get out a piece of paper and write down what I have. That way you can use this kind of as extra notes and to look back at to help you when you're working other things in class. So copy that down. Next, what I'd like you to do is to copy down these two problems. If you can, if you're able to, it would be a good idea to copy these problems down and try to work them for yourself if you can. If you can't, just watch the video. If you can, pause it and then click play to see if you got it right. Well, here we have 3a and 5a. Because they both contain a, they are like terms. It's like saying I have 3 apples and 5 apples. So I add them together. How many a's do I have total? Well, I end up having 8 a's total. So that is my final answer. Over here we have 2x minus 4 plus 9x. Okay, so I have 2x's plus 9x's. That's going to create 11 x's. The minus 4 just comes on down with it. We don't change it or anything. It's a constant. There's no other constants in this problem to combine with it. We only change this if there's other constants, meaning no variables connected to the numbers. All right. Hopefully you got those as your answers. Let's go on to the next ones. Again, you can pause the video and try to attempt these problems on your own. Or you can just watch along. If you want, you can always watch me work out the first one. Pause and see if you can work out the second one. All right. Here we have 8x plus 7y minus 3x. I'm going to box in my like terms. I like to group them together like this, okay? And I like to include any symbol that's in front of them is a good thing to include. So I'm combining 7x and I know that says minus 3, but we think of it kind of as a negative 3. So we have negative 3 right here. So what we end up doing is we have 8 plus negative 3. Well, that's positive 5x plus 7y. The 7y didn't change because there were no like terms to combine with it. So it just stays the same. We cannot combine these two because they're not like terms, meaning they don't contain the same variables. You cannot combine apples and oranges. They stay separate, okay? Over here we have y minus 4y plus 8y plus 5. Remember, when you see a variable by itself, it's understood that there's a 1 right here, okay? So if we understand there's a 1 right here, and we say, well, 1y minus 4y, that would be negative 3y plus 8y plus 5. I still have like terms I can combine. I add these together to get 5y is plus 5. These are not like terms, so I'm done. I can no longer combine them. This is my answer right here. Just like this is the answer over here. Okay? So, let's take a look at the next ones. Ooh, we just got more complicated. So I have a negative 4 parenthesis. Negative 4 touching a parenthesis. You need to think multiply. And when you see multiple things inside there, you need to think distributive property. So I'm going to take that negative 4 and distribute it to the x and the 3. You only distribute to what is inside the parenthesis. So here we get negative 4x plus negative 12 minus x. Once again, it's sometimes helpful to go through and add the opposite, change subtraction to addition. Well, this is already addition. This right here is subtraction, so we change this to a plus negative x. So I have negative 4x plus negative x. Well, remember that you don't see a number there. There's an understood 1. So what's negative 4 plus negative 1? It'd be negative 5x plus negative 12. Okay? Box in your answer. And here we have our last one. We got two sets of parentheses. So this 3 is going to get distributed to this and this, while this will be distributed here and here. But before you do distribute, it would be a good idea to add the opposite, at least for the stuff on the outside. This is not a 5 we're distributing because of this subtraction sign. It actually really should be distributed as a -5. So we add the opposite to change that to a -5. It makes all the difference once we start multiplying. Trust me. 3 times 4, 12a minus 15 plus -5 times a, -5a minus -5 times 6, -30. Well, I would need to add the opposite here, so I end up with 12a minus 15 plus -5a plus 30. So I have like terms right here and here. So I combine them. I end up with 7a minus 15 plus 30. I now have like terms right here and here. You need to think of this as a -15. So I end up with 7a -15 plus 30. So I end up having plus 15. Because -15 plus 30 is equal to positive 15. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Remember, if you have more questions, you can always ask in class, or if you really need some more one-on-one time, I recommend coming in early or staying later after school. See you guys there in school.